This is a 1 penny stamp. This is also a 1 penny stamp. Both of them are from the UK. They are the famous matching definitive stamps, but they are not the same penny. This one, 1p, is a decimal penny, but this one, 1d, is a pre-decimal penny. There are many stories behind them. Some stories from 50 years ago. First, let's take a look at some coins much older than 50 years. These are some coins from King George VI era. And we got a farthing, a halfpenny, a penny, 3 pence, and a shilling. These are some examples of the pre-decimal currencies. £1 was equal to 20 shillings, a shilling was 12 pence, and a penny was 4 farthing. So £1 was also 240 pence and 960 farthings. That is a lot. £1 was a very considerable amount of money. The 1 penny is a quite large coin, even larger than the £2 coin of today. And the farthing coin is the same size with today's 1 penny. So, and have you heard about the penny farthing? This is not a video of coins. Let's talk about stamps. And there was no farthing stamp, but we can find a halfpenny, a penny, 3 pence, and a shilling. The pre-decimal 1 penny stamp was known as 1d instead of 1p. That is because in Latin, penny is denarius, and we also have solidus and libra for a shilling and a pound. So the pre-decimal currency is also known as the LSD currency. Today, the LB for a pound is still quite common because a pound is also a unit of weight. Some examples of the shilling stamp. This one, just 1 shilling. And I can find a King George V stamps. It has 1 shilling and 1 S. The welding stamp, something like 1 apostrophe hyphen, and also 1 shilling. And of course, the matching. And this is a 1 shilling, 6 pence, which is actually 1.5 shilling. In late 1960s, the UK decided to introduce the decimal currency. The date for switchover being set for 15th February 1971, exactly 50 years ago. The pound kept its old value and name, but was going to become 100 new pence. The shilling was going to be abolished, and it was equal to 5 new pence. A new penny, known as P, is equal to 2.4 old pence, known as D. So, 1D is about 0.4167p. A lot of math to do. And this is the so-called decimalization. It was not possible to switch in just 1 day. In fact, the transition in postal system took over 20 months. Back to 17th June 1970, a set of decimal matchings was issued. 10p equals to 2 shillings, 20p equals to 4 shillings, and 50p equal to 10 shillings. From that day, both pre-decimal stamps and decimal stamps could be used together on one cover. I have 50p equal to 10 shillings. It is much larger than the common matchings. This one measures 36 by 30 millimeters, and the common one 24 by 21 millimeters. These 3 stamps were not commonly used because in 1970, the second class and first class mail rate was just 4 and 5D. So, 2 shilling to 10 shillings was a lot. You can find them on some parcels and international mails. The preparing of the decimal day was smooth, but with a a little problem. The National Postal Strike from 20th January to 8th March in 1971, which covered the decimal day. On decimal day, Royal Mail issued 12 new decimal machines, from half a penny to 9 pence. I got all of them. Some are mint and some are used. So, how could people get the new stamps and first aid covers during the strike? Most of the post offices were closed. Some small sub-post offices were open, so there are some first aid covers processed by small sub-offices. British Forces Postal Service was operating, so we can find a first aid cover processed by British military. This is a delayed official first aid cover, and you can see the hand stamp. Posting delayed by the Postal Office strike 1971. In that period, some private postal services established to solve the impact of the postal strike. They have stamps and first aid covers to commemorate this important day of the UK. This is a cover processed on 8 March 1971, the day the postal workers back to work. So is this a proper first aid cover? After they went back to work that year, they had a lot to do because the predecimal stamps were still valid. A lot of math to do. For example, in 1971, the second-class mail rate was 2.5 pence, and first class was 3 pence. What could people do was to use a 4D stamp and a 1p stamp to match the new rate, the new second-class rate. Let's take a look of the postal rates. From 1970 to 1971, there was a significant increase. But do you know what's the rate of today? What happened in the last 50 years? This situation of mixed use of stamps lasted until 29th February 1972, the last day of predecimal validity. This cover must be made by a philatelist. All of them are predecimal stamps, and it was processed on the last day. After that day, if someone used the predecimal stamps for inland mail, General Post Office would process and charge the recipient at the second-class rate plus an equal amount as a penalty. Such as this cover, the sender used a 3D stamp, and the recipient was asked to pay 5p, double of the second-class rate. Today, some predecimal stamps continue to appear in the mail stream because some postal workers are not familiar with the predecimal stamps, or they are just not serious enough, such as this one of this year. What stamps could we use today? I'm sure all the stamps issued after 1971 could be used. And I think this one issued in 1970 also could be used because it's decimal, but not a high-value stamp anymore. What I'm not sure is like this one, a £1 stamp issued before 1971. Wikipedia said Queen Elizabeth II £1 stamps are still valid for postage. That means £1 stamps issued after 1952 are valid. But there is no reference for this. If you know some more reliable source, please let me know. 50 years later, there are no commemorative stamps of Decimal Day issued by Royal Mail, but there are some special postmarks. This one features a cash register. Royal Mint issued a commemorative 50p coin for the anniversary. I like this one, but I don't think to pay £10 for a 50p coin is a good idea. Stamps tell histories. Thank you for watching. See you next time.